Talked up his session leading up to this, and particularly because not only is he speaking on music, but he's also a musician himself. He plays. He also plays at the worship at our church. He knows a lot about music, more so than I do. He's someone who has certainly helped me a great deal. I've been able to glean a great deal of wisdom and insight from him, and particularly his biblical insight and its application to different areas of life, particularly areas where I don't specialize in. And Ryan is the Director of Development and Operations, and he's also the editor at the Ezra Institute for Contemporary Christianity. And he holds an undergraduate degree in history from Tyndale University and a master's in library and information science from the University of Toronto, with a focus on bibliographic control and the history of censorship. Now, Ryan has served in several educational and support roles, providing bibliographic research and critical editorial assistance for several popular and academic populations. He lives in Toronto with his wife Rachel and his 3 children. He has 2 daughters and 1 son. And it is my pleasure and my privilege to be able to introduce and welcome my colleague Ryan Harris.
Introduction, that's really all there is to me. I am here to talk about music tonight, and not just about music in particular, but about what is a Christian approach to thinking about music and enjoying music look like. It's a question I come by honestly. Stephen mentioned that I am an amateur musician myself, as well as an audio engineer and an amateur guitar builder. And it's just for most of my life, and even before that from my parents, music has been around me, and it's just something that I've come to love. It's something that I've had the blessing to give some thought to, partly because of the work that I do now, working with a cultural theological ministry. And it is just really great to be here. I hope that I'm not the only one talking tonight. I hope that we can consider together what does it look like for us as Christians to think about and to enjoy and to love the good gift of music that God has given to us. I want to turn it over to you pretty shortly here. Let me ask you, just by a show of hands, is music important? Yeah, 2 hands up from here, one guy here. Is it very important, or are you not sure?
Very important.
Oh, okay. All right, good. So that was, you didn't have your hands up very long. It was pretty much unanimous as far as I could see. Why is music important? Yes, sir.
Culture?
It's a part of culture? Sure. Good. Can you say anything else about that?
Different cultures have different types of music.
Different cultures have different types of music. Okay, yeah.
It can tell you a lot about your culture.
It can tell you a lot about your culture by listening to the music that culture produces, and that's produced in that culture. Yeah, I think you're on the right track there, absolutely. Yes?
It's very influential, and they talk about it in the Bible.
Okay, good. Yeah, both good reasons. Yes?
It inspires.
Music inspires.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Over here.
It's a way of communicating feelings and emotions.
Why did I even come here? You guys know this stuff. All right. Yeah, it's a way to communicate feelings and emotions. Yes, sir?
It's God's way of encouraging our hearts.
It's God's way to encourage our hearts. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Yes, right here.
Way of expressing worship to God.
Okay, totally. Yes. Yes. Is it David?
Sure.
Yeah.
From my experience, music, whether it's popular music or Christian, with our friends and also with an era. So it might be a song from 2016, as soon as that song starts playing with your friend, like, it just takes you back to that particular memory and that time frame.
Right.
And very few other things can do that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. There's like there's an element of autobiography to music that yeah is somewhat unique to that medium. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah, okay, good. Giselle. Yeah, one more.
I read a quote once, and I don't remember exactly how it was put, but
Oh, she's got
the effect
quotes.
of it was, music is only second to theology, it is power to move your soul.
Music is second to theology in its power to move your soul. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm into that. Yeah, it is absolutely a powerful and unique medium, to say the least. And that's, you said it better. So music is powerful. Music is an expression and a means of worship. Music moves us. Let's try and back off from that if we can. Do you think that there can be such a thing as music that is neutral, morally or otherwise? Is there such a thing as neutral music? Mark?
You have to shut your emotions off if you did. So it can't be neutral because your emotions are always affected by it.
Your emotions are always affected by something, so it's so you're perceiving. There's always a meaning in music, and you can't help but draw some of that out.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes.
I would say it could never be neutral because whoever's making the music is not neutral. They all have a worldview, so they're all trying to express something through their own worldview.
They've all got a worldview. They're all trying to express something. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
We've been talking a lot how there's no such thing as neutral ground, and if there's
Okay.
no neutral ground, then why would there be neutral music?
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Why would there be neutral music? So what's a criterion? What are the criteria for good music or bad music? If we're agreed, if there are any dissenting opinions, if anyone wants to say that there is such a thing as neutral music, I'll hear that. But yes.
Well, I think music, good or bad, depends on the lyrics in the music. That can show where it's from and the context it's used. Like in a movie, music doesn't necessarily have lyrics with it,
Mhm.
but in the scene that it's used and made for, that can also mean something. But just good or is the scale bad?
Mm-hmm.
That the scale is a form of music,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not good or bad. It's just they're pressing keys in a progressive order.
Yeah. Okay. So there are no satanic notes. There are notes that are appropriate. There are melodies. There are scales. There are chords that are appropriate for different situations. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I think it's all in the context that you use it. I don't think a scale is good or bad.
Mhm.
I just think it's something neutral. And when you put the notes in a certain context with lyrics or in a movie, then that's where it starts to
Okay.
take its nature.
Okay. Okay. So you're trying to kind of take a step back from the creation of music to the existence, the suprahuman existence of music, of scales that God has given us. Is that fair? Is that putting too many words in your mouth?
I don't really understand what you meant by that.
Okay,
I'm
don't
just
worry about
thinking
it.
that a scale, but it's not
A
good,
scale.
it's not bad, it's just a scale.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And what makes it good or bad?
Yeah,
Okay. Sure.
what we put with it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, yeah. There's a sense in which you're right on point. There's a sense in which I would say, again, music is a gift from God. When God created all things, this world and everything in it, He pronounced it good. So all music, I would contend, as it exists as a gift to us from the Lord, is good and is meant to be enjoyed and delighted in and created the glory of God. And it's really only when we come along and foul it up that bad music becomes possible. It's only when sin enters into that use and experience and interaction with God's good creation that the idea of badness comes about. And I would contend that our attitude towards music is going to influence our lives in ways, far beyond, what we choose to listen to. I hold myself up as an example of this, and when I was a teenager, when I was you here, I had very not unique, but very definite musical tastes. And I made sure that those tastes were known to everyone who I came in contact with. You could spot me across the street and say, that guy has an opinion on the new Green Day album. I made sure it was not just, the music that I was listening to. It was in the clothes I wore. It was in the friends that I kept and associated with. The way I spend my time and my money. The way that I talked. The expressions that I use, on and on and on. These things, your clothing, your language, the way you spend your time, these are all forms of communication, as music itself is. And what we want to do is just make sure that we're giving some thought to what it is that we're communicating. And part of what I want to consider this evening is how do we evaluate the purpose and the intention of the music that we're listening to? How do we communicate? How do we know what we ought to be communicating, and then how do we do that? And I asked you at the beginning why music is important, and somebody said that it's in the Bible. And that's very true. That's quite an understatement. You can hardly read a book of the Bible without coming across some mention of music in some context. Music was an important part of the culture and the